Gold and silver prices like you've never imagined. There is a ton going on in the world right now, and we know some of it is actually very scary. But could we be heading to a point where physical demand for silver and gold overwhelms the electronic exchanges, yes, the COMEX and the LBMA, the result of which would be prices for gold, prices for silver, like we've never imagined? What's going on with China? We're going to focus in on that today in this video and see why physical demand for gold in particular in China has the potential to result in explosive price increases for gold. And you know, what happens to gold also happens to our good friend silver. Let's dig in right now. What would you think if you heard the Chinese government was encouraging their citizenry to accumulate physical gold? Well, that would mean increased demand for our favorite yellow metal. We know just several months back that the Chinese government made it very easy for the wealthy, for people in China who actually have bank accounts, to convert their bank accounts into physical gold with a mouse click. And the government has been encouraging the citizens to do it ever since. Now, let's talk about the other end of the spectrum. Remember, China has 1.4 billion people. Just to give you a little bit of context, in the United States, we're just over 300 million. That means China has 4 times as many people as we have here in the United States. And have you considered that unlike the United States, the middle class in China is growing more and more wealthy by the week and by the month? So, is the Chinese government doing anything to encourage average and lower class Chinese citizens to buy gold? You bet they are. There's a new movement in China called gold beans. Yes, golden beans. They're little itsy bitsy little pebbles, little beans of gold that weigh 1 gram each. Now, for those of you who don't know, there's about 31 grams in each ounce. So it takes 31 of these little 1 gram gold beads to make 1 ounce. But the government is encouraging their citizenry to accumulate them on a monthly basis. Big deal, right? Well, if you consider 1.4 billion people, and I need to refer to some figures here, in China, if only 10%, 1 in 10 Chinese people, 140 million, were to buy 1 gram of gold, one of those little beans, 1 time a month, that would result in 1,680,000,000 grams of gold being purchased on an annual basis. Big deal, right? It is a massive deal because if you divide that 1.68 billion grams of gold by 31.1, because remember there's 31 grams in an ounce, that comes to 54 million ounces of gold. Big deal, right? Yes, that is a huge deal because according to the statistics that I dug up, on an annual basis, the world only produces around 120 million ounces of gold in total. So that represents that just 10% of the Chinese population buying 1 little gram of gold every month, that would represent almost half of the world's gold production, again, just from 10% of the Chinese population. To put that into context, 1 gram of gold today at around, let's say, $2,000 per ounce gold price would cost you $75, give or take. First Mining Gold is a development company advancing 2 of the largest gold projects in Canada. Springpole in Ontario and Duparquet, located in Quebec, each already has 5 million ounces of gold reserves, but exploration initiatives are underway at both projects to find even more gold.
First Mining is well-financed, has zero debt, and owns an interest in 4 additional Canadian gold development projects.
And it seems to be catching on. I read an article a few months ago about these gold beans. It was interesting, talking about how the younger people in China are taking part in this craze of buying and collecting gold beans. Remember, China, India, most other parts of the world look at gold, look at silver, much, much differently than we do in the United States. But big deal, you might say. Well, guys, it is a big deal because while China is the #1 producer of gold in the world, they have no ability to supply that amount of gold, that 54 million ounces that I brought up earlier, to their citizenry. It would overwhelm the physical market in China. And remember, China's market, the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the Shanghai Futures Exchange, is based much more on physical metal, but it would bleed through to the West. To our friends at the COMEX and the LBMA, they might find themselves with a little problem on their hands if Chinese citizenry does indeed continue in this trend of buying and collecting these gold beans. And all of this is happening while China's neighbor to the east, yes, Japan, just the 3rd largest economy in the world, they're having a gold craze all of their own. Japanese people are buying gold like no other time in recent history because they're waking up as their yen is going down, down, down in value to the wealth preservation functionality that can be found in things like gold and silver. It's going to be an interesting decade ahead of us, guys. We've got so much going on, so many factors that are coming together, a confluence of factors that are supportive to both the silver and the gold price. You know I'll be here with you through it all. If you want to get your hands on some silver right now, go check out Pimbex. They're the sponsor of this video. I've purchased silver from them in the past. I did my research, did my homework on the company, and I found they checked all the boxes: quality, price, and trustworthiness. I think you might benefit from checking them out as well, and I think you'll find the same thing that I found. Pimbex is best. Hey, take care, and I'll see you soon.